What is going on, button pushers? Welcome to the channel. As today's video states, we're going to be going over 4 different shooting tips that are going to really help you out and to speed up your editing. Now, these are all going to be in-camera things and things you do while you're shooting just to kind of speed up the process for you later and just make it easier for you to work around different things. If you guys are new to the channel, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. My name's David, and I am here to help. That's pretty much it. So hopefully this audio isn't too bad because I'm using a Rode microphone right now, and I usually don't. I usually use a audio recorder and a good microphone, but it's being used for a prep day right now because I've been non-stop working. But let's get into the video. The first tip I have for you guys is to break up your B-roll. Now, some people already do this, some people don't. They might do a long take, and a lot of people I know actually just hit record and leave it running, and it's kind of, I get why sometimes, but at the same time, I really don't understand why. You know what I mean? It's one of those things where it's like, you get it, but you don't. So like, let's say I was shooting, right? So I'm using this phone right here, and I wanted to shoot some B-roll. So one movement, maybe back, maybe like a few other things, but nothing too long. I usually try to keep my B-roll like 10 to 20 seconds max. Now the reason I do this is because I don't want to have to sit through 3 to 4 minutes of a take and look at everything and just like kind of pick out things from a huge clip when I can just have separate sequences or separate clips of different movements of this specific subject. And when I'm looking back at it in Premiere Pro or whatever program you're editing in, it shows that thumbnail. It shows you exactly what you're gonna have in that clip, and then it's all about the movement. You know, you can scrub through it, you can just look at it and say, okay, it's moving left to right. Okay, it's moving in and out. It's moving, you know, over and looking down. There's so many different movements. And honestly, I feel like you're just wasting time sitting through watching 3 to 4 minutes of a B-roll clip, and you're only trying to find one specific thing. So in my mind, I feel like breaking it up speeds up the process of editing a lot more because it saves you the time of having to sit through endless clips that you might not even use. Like, even on top of that, you know, as you're shooting, you're gonna remember, like, oh, I love this B-roll clip. You don't want to have to search for it later. You don't want to have to, like, find it and spend hours and hours searching through 500 different clips and just finally find it 3 hours in. Now, I've seen a lot of videos where people have actually asked me to edit their videos, right? And it's good to have your exposure correct in camera because, one, yes, if you're shooting in RAW, whatever, you can fix it. If you're shooting in like all eye or, you know, ProRes, it's a little bit harder, but still potentially possible. But if you have it in camera, it saves you so much time when it comes down to the color grading, when it comes down to, you know, just in general, just editing. It really just helps to have everything right in camera. That's pretty much the basis of this entire video. Have it ready in camera. So if you're done watching the video, that's just take that. Have everything ready in the camera. When I shoot, I like to use View Assist if I'm shooting in log. View Assist pretty much colors my stuff in camera when I'm shooting in the log profile without actually baking it into the footage, which means when the footage comes to your computer, it's still log. It's flat. It's grayscale. It's like just like really muted in color. And that really helps me in color grading because I really love to have more control of my colors. So if you don't know what a log profile is, it's pretty much a super flat profile that really helps to color your footage and saves lots of details in the shadows and the highlights and whatnot. And I highly recommend shooting in log, but only if you know how to color with log. And the best way to do that is to practice. So maybe shoot in log if your camera has it. Now, a lot of you guys don't even know what codecs are, and that is something that is super important, especially for a lot of cameras, even on these smaller DSLR cameras, because usually there are 2 different codecs in those beginner level cameras. It's all eye and IPB. Now, all eye is all intra and IPB is something, I don't know, but the way I see it is all eye is like all of the control is in me, in I, and I get to do a lot more. Now, that while that may not be true, you do have a lot more control over than you do with IPB because IPB is just super compressed. So the difference in these codecs are the compression rates. So IPB is going to be super compressed. You're going to have like no control over any colors or anything. Everything's going to be kind of like fused together. It's like editing a JPEG photo. And if you don't know what that's like you're trying to change the color of this sticker, right? Like the orange right here, you're trying to change that orange and you have it specifically, and you can definitely tell that these are not the same color, right? You can really tell. But if you were to select this orange, you're probably going to end up changing this too, because IPB just compresses it so much that there isn't as much data as possible to change colors or, do anything with lighting or, change highlights and shadows. It's just that bad. Of course, all I is a little bit better, but then you also have 8-bit, 10-bit, 12-bit, 16-bit. 16-bit is going to be raw. 12-bit is going to be pretty freaking dank. And 10-bit is going to be really nice. 10-bit 422 is an amazing codec for a lot of different cameras like the GH5 and whatnot, and it works really, really well when it comes down to the coloring. But if you didn't get any of that, just know, use the highest codec that your camera has. It's usually the very last one in your camera. So 24 all-I or 60 all-I. All-I is better than IPB. That's pretty much what you need to take away from here. It really helps with later and coloring and not having to deal with so many different issues and all that stuff. Though it may slow down your editing process a little bit because of the file sizes. So just be strategic with what codecs you're using and make sure that you have enough control so you save the stress later and the coloring and the effects and everything, because if you don't have control over your footage, you just got a bad video. And lastly, I think this one is super important, and I specifically found out about, doing this. I was filming a YouTube video, and the background was constantly changing because the sun was constantly moving throughout the whole video. And it's your white balance. You want to set a white balance level. Usually, I go anywhere from 3800 Kelvin to 6500 Kelvin, and it really just depends on the look I'm going for. Do I want a warmer look? Do I want a cooler look? It's a lot better than setting your white balance to auto, mainly because the sun is constantly moving. So if you don't have a light setup, like I don't even have one right now. I don't have a light set up because there's no space in my room, but it's times like that, shooting with manual white balance is really, really nice. Otherwise, you're gonna have a constant change in background, and though the background still might be changing a little bit, the colors on my skin and my skin tones themselves are not changing. So you don't have to end up recolor grading specific footage. So if you shot 15 scenes in this room right here, they can all basically be colored the same way. You can color grade one, copy and paste on all of them, as opposed to having the white balance change consistently, like from 3800 to 5500 back down to 4200. Your colors are going to be very, very off. The footage is going to be warmer than the other ones, and it's going to look a little bit funky if you were to copy and paste it. So it saves you the trouble of having to go back and forth with coloring. Anyways, that is all I have for you guys today. Maybe I'll have more. I do have a little bit of ideas for videos. I've been so busy this month. I'm literally working every single day in June, and that's why I didn't have time to make a YouTube video. And I've just been feeling a little bit uninspired. Who knows, maybe I'm burning out. But I hope you guys are staying on track. Thank you guys for 7K on YouTube. You guys are amazing. I love the support, and I love you guys. So thank you guys for supporting. Make sure you guys give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button if you haven't already subscribed. Let me know in the comments below if there's anything specific you guys would want to see from me, because if you guys have feedback on the specific videos you guys want, I will definitely make it if I can. Keep pushing buttons, guys, and I'll see you next time. Peace.